So, I'm... First of all, I want to apologize for the fact that I'm kind of tired right now. For some reason. So, I'm going to be kind of meandering through sentences. There's going to be a lot of times where I just kind of finish the sentence halfway through, or, you know, take a lot of pauses. All that stuff. So, I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way first. But, I just wanted to kind of talk for a moment about the channel. How it's doing, what my plans for the future are, with this channel in particular, and just stuff of the sort. I just wanted to talk about it for a minute, because I have been uploading pretty infrequently lately. Very infrequently, actually. I have only uploaded a handful of videos since December, this month. So I wanted to clear the air as to why that's been happening and stuff of the sort. So let's get right in. Let's get to that. So for starters, so I went to my dad's, who's out east, on around December 20th or so. And the plan was for that to just kind of chill out. Not really, you know, I didn't want to record much. The focus was spending time with my dad, obviously. But I did want to record a few things just for the sake of recording a few things. In 400 yards. If I had downtime and, you know, no one was home, or, you know, what have you. Or if it was, you know, later on in the night. Whatever reason it may be, I just, you know, I wanted to generally focus on hanging out with my dad and hanging out with family out east. So it was quite a... Well, when I got back on January 6th, things kind of changed a bit, I guess. The Monday following that, I applied for a job that I got pretty much immediately, and I started working that Thursday. Which I've only recorded, like, I think 5 videos since then. And really the reason behind that is just the fact that, so this job, you know, I mean, I'm working a part-time job along with school, so I'm, generally I'm, you know, going to school from 8 to 3, and then going to work from, let's see, like 4 to 6. So I have from about 6 to whenever I choose to go to bed, around 10 to 12. So I have around 6 to 10 to record. And in theory, there is some time to do that. But for the most part, there are things I would rather do. For the most part, I have been spending my time playing games. But for the most part, I'm just doing things like this. Where I'm just driving around in Forza. Or I'm driving around, fucking around in... I don't care. In GTA, or doing... lately I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show, which, unless I'm doing Road to the Show, is not terribly recordable. It's been the bulk of the stuff I've recorded so far. So, I don't know. I wanted to just explain that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, so since I've gotten that job, since I work there, I work pretty much all day on Saturday. I have a little bit of time to record after that. And then I prefer to spend my days, my free Sundays, doing things. I like to go out on a drive with my grandma, but also now that that's my only day off, that'll probably be taken up doing a lot of other things. So it's probably going to be pretty infrequent that I'm going to have a whole day where I'm not really doing anything. In fact, I'm always going to be doing something that day. So, although I have Fridays off too, but I have school on Friday, so this will probably be the primary recording day, is when I have a lot of time after school that I don't really want to, that I, you know, just doesn't really get used for anything else. So I mean, I have time to record. Make no mistake, I definitely can record. I just generally don't find myself wanting to, I guess. I find myself this might change in the future, because I do still have time to record. And in the future, I might actually use that time to record. But I will say, I have a lot less motivation to do some of the things that I did, mostly just for recording. There are a few games that, I enjoy playing, but for the most part, I'd only really record because just for the sake of it being a series. Think of Star Wars, Wolfenstein. There's a lot of games that I just don't really play on my own very much, but I really just play for YouTube. And those games are probably going to see... those videos you probably just aren't going to see. You might. You probably won't. Okay. So... I wanted to just highlight that. Make it known that I don't plan on doing that stuff all very much anymore. In fact, the bulk of the videos you're probably going to see are going to be stuff with Ohio. Mostly just going to be, funny moments style gameplay where I'm just hanging out with Ohio and playing Rainbow or something like that.
Isn't it? Shall we send a thank you?
Maybe when new games come out that I'm interested in, I'll... Oh. Does this car have Goodyear slicks? That's badass. I actually do like that. I'll go ahead and upgrade that. But, yeah, like I said, the need to do, series-based games is going to go down. I'll record them every so often, but don't expect them very often, essentially. So, to be honest, I'm really not sure what I'm doing at this point. I'm not retiring. I'm still going to make videos. But I guess I'm going into semi-retirement. I was never really full-time anyway. I uploaded daily for stretches if I recorded enough at one time. But to be completely honest, I never really recorded enough at one time for that to really work for more than a week or so. And it's pretty easy to do. If you record, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos in a day, then that gives you, that until you miss 2 or 3 days, you're pretty much good for uploads. So, if you just upload once, if you, make 2 videos in one day, and then make a video every day after that, then you're pretty much good. But if you miss a day, then you've lost it, basically. And I don't make any money off this channel. The channel doesn't get a whole lot of views. There's not a whole lot of viewer channel interaction. So there's not a whole lot of drive to do this other than just being a simple passion project. Just something I like to do every so often. I like to record videos. I've always loved watching YouTube. And making YouTube videos was a big aspiration of mine. It wasn't something I ever really wanted to be a job, necessarily. Well, not necessarily, but it wasn't something I ever planned on doing full-time. It wasn't something I ever planned on really even being successful in. But it was something that I occasionally in my free time, I'd pretend to make a YouTube video. I would just sit there and talk to myself and pretend like I'm making one, even though I'm not recording anything. And for a little bit, I made some vlog-related videos that are currently unlisted. You can find them if you try hard enough. I'm sure they're around somewhere. But I don't know what you would. So, basically, but the channel's experienced more or less no growth. I think when I started recording now, I had like 213 subscribers. Now I'm sitting on 250. And usually I think I've gained like maybe 10 subscribers and lost maybe like 8. So ultimately the growth of this channel has been anything but exponential. So to be honest, I just don't really have any reason to do it any more often than as I feel like. This is a simple hobby and passion project that I do on occasion. To be honest, the only consistent watcher I know of is Ohio. You know, so, I don't know. I just wanted to make that clear. I don't really, you know, there were times where uploads became scarce, but they're gonna get pretty scarce from here on out, to be completely honest. So, but now I want to talk a little bit about the militia for a second. So, for those of you unaware, the militia is a group with me, Ohio, Aqua, Scotland, Mr. Nobody, and Sports Ninja. Sports Ninja we usually call Shrinkhole. Mr. Nobody we typically fluctuate between Mr. Nobody and Murph. Aqua, Garrett, Ohio, James. Scotland, it would be like... Oh, damn. Scotland, Gavin, my boyfriend, you know. So, our group, the militia, has been kinda dead. No, Ohio started recording. Before it was just me. Now Ohio records on a somewhat regular, actually on a pretty regular basis. He's kind of taken the torch. He's kind of carried the torch from me, if you will. He makes the majority of the videos now. He's got plenty of series going on. He puts a little bit more effort into them. He's got, you know, proper thumbnails and, you know, stuff like that. Whereas I really don't. What's the Forza edition? So, you know, he's just... he's doing his thing, I guess. And that's fine by me. But, we still play games, although maybe not as common as before. Since I went out to my dad's, he kind of started to hang out with other people a little bit more often, and just, you know, do things like, you know, and do other things, which is, you know, fair. That's fine. It's allowed to do that. But I did just want to make that clear. Why the hell is that then? Snow tire. Because that is, you know, a point that should be made. So, to be honest, well, Aqua's kind of went silent. He got a PC, doesn't really play Xbox anymore, and left the group chat a long time ago. Well, actually, okay, he didn't leave the group chat a long time ago. When he started playing a lot more Fortnite, before he got the PC, we kind of kicked him. And then he's said, like, one thing to us since then. We brought him back into the militia, and then he left on his own. So... that's kind of just on him, really. But that does affect the chat. You know, I will say it doesn't have a good effect on us here, is that, you know, Garrett's not around. Because to be honest, he was a pretty, like, notable part of the group. But it's just the way it is, I guess. But the militia's still together, but with how dead the group chat's been and how little most of us ever interact. Now, Shrinkle and Scotland were already rarely ever in the group chat. It was mostly just myself, Ohio, Murph, and Aqua. But I don't know, it's just not really working at the moment. I want to let everyone know that none of this is official yet. I'm just kind of talking. I will officialize it in the next podcast episode. Because I do still want to do that. I enjoy doing that. I really like doing that. In fact, that might become the most common thing I upload here. But we have to, like, have things to talk about. And I haven't really been, like, the newness of doing YouTube is kind of worn off. so I don't like think about it as often. I don't think about doing it really a whole lot anymore. I might eventually, but for now I don't know. I don't really care. I'm kind of, I'm starting to lose interest, and I'm not sure how long. I mean, I'm still going to continue doing this, but it's not going to be, it's going to be at about the same frequency as it's been lately. So really I'm just saying this because I wanted to clarify why it's been the way that it's been, why I've been so inactive, and all that jazz. So, like I said, don't worry, I will still be uploading, just pretty irregularly. Because, I mean, my time has been constricted a little bit, but a lot of it has been while hanging out with other people, which, again, I don't want to make it sound like I feel any particular way about that. He's allowed to hang out with other people if he wants to. Okay? But it has impacted my video making ability. Because when I do actually, like, go out, because I tend to forget to actually, like, go out and record whenever we're both online. And a lot of the time we just don't really feel like playing the same thing, or if we are playing, it just kind of ends up folding anyway, so if I were to have recorded, it would have been a pretty shit video anyway. I mean, we'll see what happens from here. I'm going to try and remember to upload a little bit more frequently, try and remember to record whenever I get the chance. The MLB series is probably going to be the most frequently updated. I will still be running the rest of the series, but it's probably going to be pretty infrequent that I make videos on, say...
You have arrived at your destination.
I don't know. Just all the games that the variety, I guess, is going to be a little more constricted, seeing as it's going to be based mostly on what I feel like playing at one given time, because I don't have the amount of time I had before to aimlessly play games and get it and have a feel to play more games. I also forgot to record when I was playing Wreckfest with Murph, which actually probably would have been some decent content, but I don't know. A lot of the time, lately I've noticed that I have to, like, go out of my way to record. It's not something I think to do automatically. And for purposes other than just... Because sometimes I record for memory's sake. I will record because I just started playing a new game, or because I'm playing with someone particular, or just, something's happening and I want, but, like, for general recording, just recording for the sake of recording, not necessarily for any other reason, I'm not sure if it's really going to happen a whole lot anymore. So, to kind of wrap up, I'll still be making videos, just pretty infrequently, like I have been. Although I'm going to try and upload more often. The future of this channel is uncertain. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. Like I said, this isn't something that's really gotten anywhere. Nor was it necessarily intended to be. Maybe I hoped it was, but even then it wasn't like some particular hope of mine. I'm not upset that it's been performing the way it's been performing. It's exactly how I expected it to be.
You have arrived at your destination.
But it is, I guess, slightly discouraging to not see any growth, because it doesn't really give me any reason to do it over time. Now that the newness is kind of worn off over the last 7 months, or however fucking long it's been, I don't know. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So, yeah, it's been like 8 months. 8 or so months, to be inexact. Oh. So, I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about exactly what I'm going to do. The militia, I don't know how that's really going to go from here on out. we're not disbanding necessarily yet. We'll see how it goes in the future. Try and get Garrett to be active, but since Garrett's moved away from recording, I don't really suspect that he's going to, or since he's moved away from Xbox, I don't really expect him to be very active here. It's probably just going to be mostly myself in Ohio. Really, mostly Ohio. The Texas militia trip, or the militia Texas trip, is a better way of saying it. It's probably not going to happen at this point. I don't really know. Like I said, it's not official at this point, but Aqua's out of the picture. Shrinkle's a toss-up. We'll see, but I don't really know. He's just not really active. He might go there just because Ohio's going, but his membership in the militia is questionable. Scotland's going to go wherever I go, so his presence, his being in the militia isn't even pertinent to whether or not he's going. Mr. Nobody, Murph, he might tag along, but that just seems like one of the things that he probably just wouldn't do, to be honest. I just get the feeling that he probably wouldn't have gone even if the militia was more active. And even if this was a more official thing, I feel like he probably just wouldn't go anyway. And then me and Ohio are probably the most likely to go. But I don't know. The state of the militia is kind of in shambles. It's starting to just kind of naturally just kind of dissolve. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes from here, but to be honest, hopes aren't terribly high, I guess. But for those of you who do enjoy the style of content that I make, and you want to see more, then I would recommend you go check out Ohio's channel. I'll put a link in the description. If I can remember to, I will put a link in the description. Because his content is a little more high effort than mine. It's also a little bit more digestible. The videos are a little bit shorter. Personally, I can't record short videos. This is probably going to be the shortest video on the channel. But videos that are like particularly short, but if I'm recording something a part of a series, if I record like a 20-30 minute video, it never feels like I've gotten anything done. You know, especially because the VODs go right up to YouTube. There's no editing. So a 20-minute video that's, you know, like from a 4-hour edited session is different from a 1-hour unedited session. That would only probably be like a 10-minute video. So, I don't know, but this channel is basically just going into inactivity. And I can't promise that I will be uploading more than every so often. Daily uploads are going to be few and far between. I might do a few whenever I get kicks to record in particular, if I don't feel like doing anything else. Or if I feel like doing it in particular. But for now, I'm just going to stick to the way it's been for the last little while. When this goes up, by the time this goes up, there should be a new MLB video. In case anybody here is particularly intrigued by that. But yeah, like I said, just go check out Ohio's channel, Ohio Man Gaming. He does mostly racing content. Let me look at it right now, just to give you guys a kind of a description as to what he does. Because he's kind of, I think he's kind of spearheading my YouTube career. Even though I started first by a lot, I think he's going to be the one who really carries that torch. I can't really say carries on the legacy, because let's be honest here, there's no fucking, I haven't developed a goddamn legacy. I have one video with over 100 views. Like, I don't really have a lot of room to talk here. Where's O? How am I on gaming? So, yeah. So let's look at his playlist. He makes custom thumbnails, and so he does do some things. Deer Simulator, Short Track Warriors. I guess that's his SRX thing. The podcast, NASCAR 85. Tony Stewart Sprint Car Racing. Tony Stewart's All American Racing. SRX, Insurgency, and Hunter Call of the Wild. So for those of you fan of racing games, you know, NASCAR-like racing games, Hunter, and Insurgency, then well, that might be a good place to go for those of you who enjoy that content on my channel. So go check him out, support his stuff. He's definitely going to be the main guy to pay attention to if you like my content. I mean, don't totally give up on me, I guess, but to be honest, I don't know if I'm actually going to end up recommending anyone anywhere, to be completely honest. So, that's all for this one. Thank you all so much for getting me this far, I guess. I'll continue. I don't want to, I keep trying to make it sound like this is the end. And as tempted as I am to just completely call it off, there are aspects that I do really like. I still like recording a podcast, and in fact, I might make a separate channel to upload the podcast on. And just have that really be where my YouTube career goes. Is just recording but I'd have to stick to a schedule, and the quality of the podcasts goes way down if I'm not recording them when I have enough topics prepared. Because to be honest, I just don't. It hasn't been that long since the last episode of the podcast. It's been a minute, but it hasn't been that long. So, I'm not exactly sure yet, but I don't know. Go have fun with Ohio. His channel. Boost his channel. Maybe if he makes it a little bit farther than me, maybe refer to me. I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. Do whatever you want. Have a good one, everybody.